Hi, my name is Tony Gerard with Echo Summit Property Management, and today I'm talking about the first in a series of discussions around disaster recovery, specifically fire. Fire at your property is a very emotional experience as an owner and as a tenant. As an owner, you don't go through this experience every day, and as a tenant, you may be displaced, and that introduces a whole host of issues as an owner. We'll speak about displaced tenants at a later point in the discussion. But today what we're going to do is we're going to look at the property after the fire department has come and now they've gone. The fire is out. There's several steps that you have to take as you now embark upon recovering from the fire. The first step in the process is to secure the property. Usually what happens is during the fire, you actually have disaster recovery vendors who actually show up on the scene. Now, these vendors go around and they listen to the scanners and they come on the scene specifically to help fix the properties when there is a fire or a flood, for example. These vendors specialize in dealing with the insurance after the fact, and they are actually a very, very useful part of the process that you don't want to try to get in the middle of. I highly recommend that if you were to experience a fire, that's one of the immediate vendors that you would contact, or we as your property management company would contact. The next phone call you make is to your insurance. The insurance is going to be the one who comes out and examines the scene after the building has been secured. They may be there that day, they may be there a couple days later, but they come and they really assess the scope, breadth, and depth of the damage of the fire. They will go take measurements, they will go back to their office, and they will come up with how much money this is going to cost and what exactly are the key areas that they've got to improve, fix, change, etc. They will come up with the entire document. The document may be this thick. A lot of detail goes into this. The next phase of this is what we call the environmental phase. Usually in older buildings, let's say buildings built before 1980, you'll have issues around asbestos, for example. There will be areas of the property, depending on the scope of the fire, that you are not allowed to go into because it's been contaminated by active asbestos. The building is caught on fire and the asbestos goes all over. Contents of that area have been contaminated, and by EPA standards we are not allowed to go in there. You as the owner, the tenant, nobody is allowed to enter that area. They will do environmental studies, either the vendor that you have for the initial damage repairs or the vendor who would be coming in with the insurance. They will be doing environmental studies to determine the level of toxicity there. If they determine that the area has been coined as hot, meaning there is actual, in this case, asbestos, the next step will be what they call abatement. Abatement means that those areas that are contaminated have to be sealed off and the area must be cleaned up. It is just like any other toxic waste area where the vendor goes in dressed entirely in white suits with ventilators, etc., and it is completely off limits. They pull all of the contents out. In fact, they go sometimes back to the studs of the property. They clean it all up. All of the contaminated materials are packaged up and thrown away in a very special container. This is not something that you will do. This is not something you will oversee. This is handled specifically by companies that handle abatement demolition. Once that has been completed, again environmental tests are conducted and you're given the okay, then you can enter the construction phase. What the insurance adjuster does when they go and they actually determine how much money is actually going to be spent on this is the adjuster will determine, looking at the property, to put the property back to what it was before the event. Meaning the level of quality of construction is what they will go for, the type of carpeting, the type of walls, etc. If you want to do additional work, you want to do improvements to the property, that would be in addition to what the adjuster says needs to be done. Another component of this is, let's say the electrical system is outdated and it has to be replaced to be brought up to code. Usually in the insurance claim, that is taken care of. Again, each insurance provider or carrier operates a bit differently. Recommend highly that you speak to your carrier about this so that you know what your coverages are. This process may take, again, anywhere from a week to several months, depending on the scope of the damage. The building is in construction and it's being put back together. I should say the property is being under construction, being put back together. Now somebody's got to pay for all this, the billing process. Again, there's a lot of bills that can go into a property that's had a significant fire claim. And usually the way this works is that the contractor that you hire and the insurance carrier oftentimes work hand in hand together, and usually the monies are exchanged between them. In special situations, maybe you as the owner are the middleman on this, but again, I would highly recommend that before you engage and put yourself in the middle of a process you've never done before, that you probably want to make sure that your vendor and your insurance provider, they know how to work together and that they best handle those things. For more information on this or other topics, please go to echo-summit.com/education. Thank you.